Yeah, let's be honest. This game is going to be absolute trash. Now, I get it. You're probably wondering, how do I know this? How could I possibly know the future? Well, aside from the fact that I'm a walking god, it's pretty obvious this game is going to be trash. But don't worry. I will feed you, baby birds. So, Dragon Age Veilgaurd, whatever. Dragon Age Veilgaurd. This game has been in the works for upwards of 10 years or some shit like that? I don't know. I don't care either. But it's been a while. Do you know why it's been a while? It's because BioWare has gone through, 3 different directors for this game or something, until they finally settled upon the current one. So right there, right off the get-go, this game is probably going to blow ass. Why would it blow ass after 3 directors? I should not have to tell you that. You should already know. But we're already seeing that kind of stupid-ass problem. Now, if you have a company like BioWare, who's run by EA with all the kind of resources that these guys have access to, that is a serious problem if you find yourself in a situation to where you go through 3+ directors. What the fuck is going on? Don't worry, I am here to break it down for you so that everybody understands why Dragon Age Veilgaurd, when it releases, is going to be the purest slop you can imagine. I mean, they're just gonna slather it all over your body, just, slop. Just rub it all over yourself like, oh yeah, give it to me, daddy. That is what, in fact, that's exactly what they think their fans are going to do with the slop that they're going to deliver, because the current developers honestly believe that they have a good game in their hands. Let me tell you why this game is going to suck balls. So here's the deal. We've gone through at least 3 different directors that we know of. That's fine, whatever. Games can have problems, but as I am sure that maybe at least some of you are well aware of now, but gaming is, it's in trouble, right? I mean, we have all kinds of problems. In fact, you know what? Okay, I know I'm already getting off a track. We will deal with that in a different show. Let's focus on this predictive review. All right, so my prediction is this game is going to absolutely suck donkey balls. That's my rating for the game, and this is my prediction. So what we're going to have here with Dragon Age Veilgaurd is we're going to have a situation to where you are going to be forced into a story which is political, which will have overtones, and I mean maximum overtones, of modern politics, which of course, if you do not agree with everything that these writers are going to shove into a Dragon Age game, then of course you will be immediately called a bigot and all that crap. So anyway, you know the story's going to suck because it's writers that are not actually interested in writing for writing's sake and for being a creator and trying to create a real unique experience. Everybody that they hire nowadays is not interested in actually going and developing a really unique and interesting story that, continues the story that had already been going on, and also trying to push the limits of creativity. No, we don't get that anymore, do we? No. All we're going to get from this storyline, I guarantee it, you are going to get a very focused storyline where your choices matter very little. You watch. I know they probably make the claim that, oh yeah, the player can make these choices and have interactions with NPCs and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, right, dude. Shut the fuck up. I guarantee you that none of that is going to matter on any level at all that it really should matter on. Because, remember, I'm not talking about games being made in 2005 or something. This is 2024, and we still do not have emergent stories coming out of these kinds of RPGs. One of the main reasons why this is not happening is because not only do they have trash writers who can't write to save their lives, these writers literally are only going to be able to rehash what has been done in the past. You watch. I mean, there's not going to be anything unique about this game. It's going to rip off multiple other IPs that already exist. I swear to God, I've never seen Game of Thrones, but I read those horrible books. God, those books are trash. You watch. I would not be surprised at all if a lot of the writing in this game is literally just stolen from some slop like Game of Thrones. I guarantee you'll see that. And of course, with Baldur's Gate 3, that crap, they're probably going to steal a lot from that game. Now, I don't know that game's story because I don't play trash, but, you know, you watch, dude, just because it's popular among that kind of a... Well, I mean, Baldur's Gate is popular for a different reason. We'll talk about that later. I'm going to do a show on that, too. Anyway, so you watch. The writing staff sucks. Anyway, another reason why we are not going to see anything interesting coming out of the writing is because the developers themselves, the people, the technical people, the coders, the designers, the people who are really in charge of getting the stuff under the hood of the engine running, those guys do not have any talent either. BioWare's talent is gone. It's not like they have like these high-tech, awesome, brilliant, creative people working in their office now. No, it's the exact opposite now, right? The only coders that exist probably nowadays got there because, well, I mean, they got there due to all the current social political trash that is destroying our entire planet. But that is also not for this show either. We'll talk about that later. Anyway, because BioWare has been hiring not for skill and merit, but because they've been hiring simply for political reasons, they don't have the talent that could ever formulate or create anything new and dynamic that would bring the genre forward in any unique way. It's just not going to happen. For anybody who believes that Dragon Age Veilgaurd is going to, like, I don't know, heighten gaming or bring gaming up to a brand new level that nobody has ever seen before, you know, you're crazy, right? You're objectively and scientifically insane, right? And we believe real science on this channel. And so, I mean, anyway, so if we find ourselves in a situation to where BioWare doesn't even have competent coders, how the hell are you going to get competent gameplay, or even, you know, better or worse or whatever? How can you expect this game to bring anything unique and amazing to the table if all the talent in the industry has essentially been pushed aside? Now, really quick, I know you can make a really good argument, and I agree with you on this, that the other Dragon Ages were pretty shitty as well. And I do agree. Dragon Age 1 was trash. I don't care who you are. Defending that game, oh god, dude, just please. Nah, you know what? If okay, you know, I'm going to be nice to the Dragon Age 1 people and just say, I don't really consider you people, and I'll just kind of put you as things, but I won't throw you in the trash yet, alright? So, and then Dragon Age 2 was the best of the three. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You might not like that. You might not want to hear that, but that is the truth. If you disagree that Dragon Age 2 is the best Dragon Age, I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I do not make the rules. That is just a solid fact. And if you disagree with me, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to jump into the trash compactor and live where you belong to live. Now, Dragon Age 3, that was just derivative open world garbage, you know, just packed full of MMO shit that has long since sucked ass. I'm not even going to give that any time. I think I might have actually reviewed that game. I don't know if I did. I'm not going to go look at my history either. Do you want to know why? Because I don't care. Nobody watches this trash anyways, so it really doesn't matter. With Dragon Age Veilgaurd, even though the last three entries were essentially, you know, okay, let's be honest. The reality is the last three entries, even with Dragon Age 2 being the best one, I mean, they were all pretty derivative trash, if we're honest with each other. The gameplay was kind of like, I mean, like Dragon Age 1's gameplay was very much watered down what people really wanted. Dragon Age 2 was just EA doing its thing, trying to catch up because they saw that everybody wanted action games because more and more of the population was becoming more and more stupid by the year. And of course, idiots will buy simple things, so they dumbed down Dragon Age and made Dragon Age 2. Yes, I get it. I know that I said Dragon Age 2 was the best, but it's the best because it actually did not do a terrible job doing what it did. Don't get me wrong for 2 seconds. That game was still essentially hot garbage. But of the three, it was the better of the three. Let's put it like that, right? Just so nobody starts to, look at me weird and start making comments of like, oh, you're a hypocrite. Shut up. Just shut the fuck up. Anyway, and then Dragon Age 3, I get they updated the graphics, and I think they used Frostbite on that. I don't know. Anyway, but that game was still trash, and the storyline was... That storyline, man. Holy shit. Okay, anyway, so the storyline will apparently be being continued in Dragon Age Veilgaurd, but check it out. One of the more interesting features, I guess you could call it, with the BioWare RPGs was the ability to carry your character over throughout the games. Right, Mass Effect did that to a degree, and of course Dragon Age did it as well. But that is not going to be the case in Dragon Age Veilgaurd, is it? No. I think you have, 3 choices you get to choose about what happened in the past. I mean, they may as well have just spat in your face and then turned you around, spread your butt cheeks apart, and just said, I'm going in deep, bro. Because that's all they're doing to the player base. I mean, what do you want from me? That's exactly what's going on. The developers themselves did not have the respect for the players to where they went out of their way to somehow make it to where they could integrate a deeper level of all 3 Dragon Ages into the new one. And of course, this circles right back around to what I was originally talking about the developers themselves, the coders, the technical people. They lack the capability, they lack the imagination, they lack the technical mindset to be able to create something like that on the technical level. That's where we're at with the BioWare stuff. That's one of the reasons why it's taken so long for something to be created, is because they've had so much turnover. All the good talent, I mean like the really good talent, those people are gone. And like I said, you can even argue that those guys maybe sucked ass too. I don't know. But if the guys who maybe sucked ass left, who does that leave? Exactly. It leaves the ultra ass suckers. And that is who is going to be making the game, or who is making the game. So you already have all the scientific proof you need to know for a fact that this game is going to suck ass, and that you should not be buying games that suck ass. I mean, who the hell looks at a game that is objective trash and says, oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna go spend my hard-earned money on and my time? Yeah, you pirates, I get it, whatever, you pirate, but you are still giving them your most valuable resource, your time. Stop it. Stop pirating trash. Who the fuck? Why would you go out of your way to, it's like going to your neighbor's house and pirating their dog's shit or something like that. I'm gonna go steal my neighbor's dog shit and eat that instead of eating my own dog shit. Like that is literally what pirates are doing when they play something like this Dragon Age game. All right, let's get on to the next parts of the game that I predict will suck and how they will suck. So let's look at the art design, for example. I mean, we've all seen enough of the pictures and the trailers or whatever, and it's all garbage. I mean, it's literally filled with purple puke. That bright purple puke color palette that every AAA developer now has to force into their games. So originally, when Dragon Age started, it was more high fantasy. And I know we can argue all kinds of points, but I would not say that the original Dragon Age was some brightly colored puke fest full of bright oranges, pinks, and reds, and of course, tons of purple, because we can't make a game nowadays without neon purple being slammed in your face every 2 seconds because, I don't know why. Gee, I wonder why they have, anyway, geez. So the art design looks like objective slop. I mean, that's what it is. You can even see the weirdness with their heads. For some weird reason, I don't know if I'm alone in this, but the heads on all of the characters are slightly bigger than what they really should be. So every single one of the characters just looks slightly awkward. And that's not even counting the weird, soft bitch designs. Oh, okay. Let me, the Qunari, whatever they were called. Qunari, I don't know what they're called anymore. I don't play this slop. But those guys, they went from looking badass in Dragon Age 2. Do not debate me on that. You know that was the best interpretation of that race. And now they are literally in Dragon Age Veilgaurd. They look like, I don't know, some sort of a old ass Star Trek episode alien, right? It's just a dude's face with like 2 boob horns sticking out the top of its head. Unbelievably dumb. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. What do you even say to this kind of a design? It literally looks like somebody who is not an artist was given the artistic direction position, and they thought that this is what people wanted. I mean, look at this bonkers motherfucker, dude. It's insane. Who the hell drew this and was like, yes, this is definitely much better than the Dragon Age 2 version. This really sells our fantasy. And then to make it even worse, all the employees that worked at BioWare was like, oh yeah, that's really cool, bro. Really well done. Wow, I love how it looks like just some dude with horns. That's the developing team. That's it. That is the grand scope of their capability. Look at this filth. Now, here's another reason why I guarantee you why this face looks like this is because in the character creator, I guarantee you they did not have the technical skill nor the artistic skill as well to make a character creation template that could make a real good looking Qunari. Because the Qunari looks completely different, right? Or the shape is a lot different than a regular human, etc. When you look at the Dragon Age creator or the character creator, look, I'm already getting pissed. I'm losing my shit. When you look at their character creator, all it is humans, right? And that's fine. But they wanted to fit in the other races, so all they did was they were like, okay, look, we need a really good selling point. And one of the things that will sell our game that we could put on the box or on the screen or whatever nowadays is that we could say, oh yeah, you can play as different races for the first time. I think it's the first time, right? You couldn't roll, I don't remember. Like I said, I don't care anymore. Anyway, but they wanted to have multiple races. Fine, whatever, that's cool. But because the technical team and the artistic team was not able to pull that off in a way that would actually work, you know, further the genre, try something new, do something that people generally aren't doing or something. I mean, everybody does. Well, actually, it makes it even worse, doesn't it? Because other games do other races, no problems. And those other races are all, can be, not all, but a lot of them actually do make them genuinely unique. Dragon Age can't even do something that was being done like 20 years ago. They literally don't have the technological know-how. Their character creator, I guarantee you, was developed specifically for the human face, and the engineering team was simply not up for the task. I guarantee you that's it. And now I know they'll make excuses and they'll say, oh, well, it took a lot of time, right? I mean, we don't have that much time to make a game. You had 10 years, bitch. 10 years. That is a decade. Even if you say you only had 9 or 8 or something like that. 8 or 9 years? Are you out of your fucking mind? You should have been able to create a character creator from the realm of the gods. I mean, that's how amazing this should have been. There is no excuse for time. There is certainly not any excuse for money. If they can fund you for 9 to 10 years, you can certainly step it up, right? So nobody can technically, from the BioWare side, make any excuses for their utter failures. It's just not going to happen. Now, let's get into the gameplay aspect of this. One of the things they did, or they kept in this game, I don't remember in the last 2 games if you were able to really control your companions, but in this game you cannot control your companions. They are just along for the ride. The only person you get to control is the player character. Now, that's not maybe technically too bad, but for a game that really did base its foundation on team tactics, you know, it's a little weird, but it also is just more evidence that these guys are just chasing trends. They're not interested in making the original game and upgrading that, obviously. And they're also not interested in bringing action adventure up either, because you get like only a few skills you can use at once. And then paired with the fact that you cannot control your companions. Oh my, dude, the reason why they said you can't control the companions, by the way, is because they literally think you are stupid. One of the developers literally said that there were too many actions per minute for the player to be able to comprehend. This, my friends, is precisely how you know that these developers have no idea what gamers are capable of, and of course, ultimately what gamers want. And I'm talking about real gamers, not NPCs. I'm talking about real gamers, people who want to see the genre pushed forward, who want to see the technology pushed forward, all right? These developers have no interest in doing any of that. And their work shows it, right? So if the gameplay is going to be that simplistic, if the storyline is going to be political garbage, why the hell would you pay for this game, right? All right, so anyway, so you're going to have shallow gameplay. You are going to have a politically motivated story that draws a vast majority of its references either from current, present politics and or something like Game of Thrones. And I quite do literally mean they will rip some of this stuff off literally. Oh, back to the Darkspawn design. Have you seen the Darkspawn design? Holy shit, the art team should be executed for this. Look at this, dude. It looks like a literal cartoon. This is what artists at BioWare think looks evil? Are you out of your mind? Even funnier, one of the artists or one of the people said that there's a reason why the Darkspawn look like an absolute joke. I can't wait to see this reason. I really can't. I'm not the first person to see how stupid the Darkspawn look. In fact, it's so bad that even a game journalist called them out on the design. Now, when game journalists are calling out the obvious points that they usually are not allowed to talk about, that means your game is pretty much in trouble, right? Because if even a game journalist has the perception at that level, that means you're in trouble as a developer. Because game journalists, right, those guys, they do what they're paid to do. Whatever AAA company tells them to do, they do it, and then that's it, right? They just have AI write their article, and they publish it, and then they get their money, and then they, whatever the hell they do with it. But the fact that you have one of these subhuman journalists calling them out, I mean, that's when you know you're in trouble. All right, so we got crappy art design. We're going to have the bare bones gameplay. Oh, and then look, speaking of the gameplay, what kind of gameplay will we see in the world? How will we explore the world? So far, everything I've seen, and I guarantee you this is the whole game will just be glorified hallways. You watch. There might be some littler open-ish areas, but ultimately you will be forced down the paths that they want you to take, and you will ingest the political propaganda, and you will do all of that happily with a smile on your face. The level design itself, like I said, it'll just be hallways. If you look at some of the screenshots and the videos that they've shown so far, I mean, that's all it is. There's nothing interesting about any of the level design. Even funnier, of course, I guarantee you that you will not be able to interact with any of those hallways. They will literally just be untouchable, perfect areas that you run down, and every once in a while you have some sort of little weak bitch fight. I guarantee you that'll be the whole entire game. Because, I mean, okay, so some of the pictures you see, there's all this stuff in their hallways, right? You have tables, chairs, windows, all this stuff you would think would be breakable. Maybe you could pick up a table and throw it at the Darkspawn, right? Or maybe you could bash in a window, grab some glass and throw it at him or something. Or when you get punched in the balls and you go flying through the air and you smash into the wall, would you maybe break the tables and the glass and the jugs and whatever's over there? I guarantee you there will be none of that interactivity in any of their hallway simulators. And the reason why is, once again, they do not possess the technical know-how anymore to operate at that level of detail. So you will be getting stagnant gameplay that we've seen a million times. It will be dumbed down even further because BioWare literally thinks you're stupid. And you will have to deal with purple color palette with cartoony graphics and an absolutely garbage, politically driven, and probably plagiarized as well from whatever popular media thing exists out there. Remember, kids, these developers can only destroy and corrupt. They can never create. That is my prediction. It has been stated and it will come true. You watch. Everything I just said will absolutely come true once this garbage launches. To make matters worse, what we are going to find is that we will find game journalists, I would say probably giving it between a 7 and a 9. You'll get a few 10s because of some of those people are absolute whores for AAA people. But I think the game will be so bad that even mainstream gaming journalists will be forced to give it the lowest score they can give it without getting in trouble, by the people who pay them off. So I guarantee you'll see a lot of 7 to 8 scores from the mainstream journalists. And then from the obviously ultimately corrupt, you'll see 10s. And then hopefully, if anybody is starting to wake up, and I think some of you are, hopefully the user scores will go way down, because hopefully those of you who waste your time buying it because you don't want to listen to me and you don't want to learn from past mistakes, hopefully once you have been burned again by these people, you will then score it correctly, and then you will never purchase anything from these developers ever again. Do not forget, I don't care who you are, these people hate you. They do not like gamers. The people making these games, they actively hate gamers. Like, their entire job is to destroy gaming. I don't know how many tweets I've seen to where a developer is like, haha, I just got hired by BioWare. Now I'm here to destroy your game because you guys love something, so I need to destroy it because you can't have love. You can only have hate. Seriously, these developers are like the most hateful, preaching people on the planet. Okay, I'm done. Just don't buy the game. It's that simple. That's the prediction. It has been made, and now it is fact.